Dr. John McKinnon is the European Union co-director of the ARCBC.
At the ASEAN Regional Centre for Biodiversity Conservation, or ARCBC as we call it, I'm the head of the EU team. We work very closely with the Philippine team, and we coordinate work with the ASEAN governments to help them conserve biodiversity. And I can't overemphasize the importance of doing that. In the long run, if we can conserve these species, these plants and medicines, these will be incredibly valuable for the economy of the people of this region.
The Centre helps strengthen biodiversity conservation by setting up a network of links among ASEAN countries and between ASEAN and the European Union's partner organizations. The Centre promotes the adoption of common standards and best practices, as well as the development of sound policies in all matters of biodiversity management. Johan Cohenberg is the Chargé d'Affaires for the European Community in Thailand.
Well, the EU and the ASEAN have a lot in common. It's a grouping of many different countries, cultural varieties, many different attitudes. And so the EU is very happy to have been able to help the ASEAN. The European Union is paying a lot of attention on biodiversity and is very happy that it could help ASEAN to achieve the maintenance or the preservation of the biodiversity.
The work of the Centre is divided into 4 main components: research projects, widespread networking, capacity development, and data management. On a day-to-day basis, the Centre is run under the Department of Environment and Natural Resources of the Philippines government, acting on behalf of ASEAN and reporting to the ASEAN senior officials on environment. In addition, the Centre is linked to a focal office in each ASEAN country, referred to as a National Biodiversity Reference Unit, that acts as a portal through which the Centre makes contact with the research, data and conservation management agencies within each country. From Southeast Asia's highest mountain to wetland reserves and one of the world's largest cave systems, the Centre has helped to revitalize the concept of ASEAN Heritage Parks. These sites represent the best examples of ASEAN's wide range of major habitats and shall serve as a source of wonder and pride for the nations of the region. They are one of the best ways to educate our children and give them a greater appreciation of nature and their surrounding environment. In September 2004, the ASEAN Heritage Parks program was relaunched at Khao Yai National Park in Thailand. The directors of the ASEAN Parks have gathered to plan their program for the coming years, and the ASEAN co-director of ARCBC, Gregorio Texon, welcomes them to the meeting. The objectives of ASEAN's heritage parks are to generate greater awareness, appreciation, and conservation of ASEAN's rich natural heritage through the creation of a regional network of protected areas. It is hoped that this program will generate greater collaboration between ASEAN countries in the preservation of their common natural heritage. The high standards set by the Khao Yai National Park are a benchmark for other parks to strive towards. The morning calls of acrobatic gibbons as they feed in the trees above, and congregations of elephants of the Indo-Chinese forests are a fitting setting for this landmark meeting of minds. The presence of ASEAN Secretary-General, His Excellency Mr. Ong Keng Yong, underlines the importance given to the occasion.
I believe that it is important for us to get our ASEAN citizens, our ASEAN non-governmental bodies, our ASEAN government to quickly move on with this initiative of conserving and preserving and protecting our biodiversity heritage. I think we are surprised by the response of the ASEAN countries. They have nominated not just one, in some cases 2, 3, 4 sites. From 11 in the 80s, now we have 27 ASEAN Heritage Parks. We believe this number will grow in the coming years as more and more of our ASEAN member countries become conscious of the need to work and protect certain areas with rich biodiversity value.
The ASEAN Heritage Parks cover a wide variety of habitat types and different biogeographic regions. An incredible abundance of life still thrives. Swirling tornadoes of thousands of fish, or 1 million bats streaming from their cave roosts at dusk to feed on the rich insects that beat the skies at night. In the west, the fauna is Asiatic in flavor, but becomes more Australasian the further east we travel. Deer and hornbills are replaced by tree kangaroos and birds of paradise, whilst on the intervening islands of the Philippines and Wallacea, some amazing endemic species can be found. The highly endangered Philippine eagle and the wild tamarau survived with man's protection. Jade vines bloom, and in Sulawesi, the male babirusa sport their fantastic tusks. Underwater, magnificent Napoleon wrasse, endangered turtles, and the largest fish in the sea, the whale shark, can still be found. By visiting these parks, tourists strengthen bonds between the ASEAN region and the rest of the world. But perhaps their greatest value is as training grounds for our children. In time, they will learn to cherish and accept stewardship for these beautiful sites. Universities and college groups come here to study nature's ways, whilst researchers can use these sites as living laboratories to discover new benefits from this rich abundance of life and a better understanding of how we can live in harmony with our natural neighbors. The parks also serve to preserve the region's diverse cultures and our links to the land and ecosystems that shaped our habits and beliefs. How can one dance the pheasant dance or stalk the shy monkey if they have disappeared, never to return again? To be labeled as an ASEAN Heritage Park is certainly an honor, but also a considerable responsibility. These parks have been accepted on behalf of ASEAN to be showcase examples for the protection of certain habitats and species. It is the country's responsibility to ensure that the best possible level of protection is afforded to the park, and in return, the park will benefit from the assistance of the ASEAN Heritage Parks Program. The ASEAN Heritage Parks Program is a brave venture of leadership and a statement of commitment and collaboration.
We are committed to working together in ASEAN to preserve the natural heritage of ASEAN countries.
In addition, this program will bring genuine benefits to local communities that live around these parks by raising their standard of living and providing them with a more secure and rewarding future. The ARCBC has achieved much in its first 6 years, and it is now expected to become a permanent ASEAN institution. The enormous challenges for the future lie in improving both the policy and practice of conservation, particularly on broader trans-frontier issues. This is a vast undertaking. But the center is not working alone. Instead, its role lies in creating synergy between other programs, sharing information, and inspiring people at all levels. Former Minister Victor Ramos presided over the original creation of ARCBC.
The Philippines is one of the 17 megadiversity countries on our planet, and therefore an appropriate center for an ASEAN-wide program for the conservation of its biodiversity.
With the establishment of the ASEAN Regional Center for Biodiversity Conservation in 1999, we have been able to define a comprehensive framework for the ASEAN Heritage Parks Program, with which the member nations can identify the value of biodiversity and manage its conservation and preservation. As with the case of the Philippine eagle, with the framework of protection and conservation defined by ARCBC, there is renewed hope that we will see more and more of them flying and soaring again in the Philippine jungles. We are also hopeful that the ASEAN region will be able to maintain and protect its biodiversity for future generations to come.
The ASEAN region is one of the richest remaining natural lands left on our planet. However, it will take the dedicated effort and combined will of many different people at every level to conserve this remarkable arena. With the support from the European Union, the ARCBC and the ASEAN Heritage Parks Program, this represents the first steps towards a brighter future, with the nations of this incredible region joined in a combined conservation program dedicated to preserving biodiversity. Together, the ASEAN Dream can still be saved.
Mankind needs nature, and nature now needs mankind if both are to survive. It's our job to strike the right balance and not destroy the environment for our own short-term greed. This living planet belongs not to our generation, but to our children and their children and future generations to come. We must safeguard and conserve and nurture this precious heritage. By working together, we should strive to pass it on in a better condition than that which we found it. The future belongs to them. We owe them a world of possibilities. We owe them a dream.